I'm not going to telegraph in any specifics what we would do in the event of credible evidence that the Assad regime has resorted to using chemical weapons against their own people. But suffice it to say, we are certainly planning to take action if that eventuality were to occur.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton responding to reports Syria's regime is moving its stockpiles of chemical weapons, and there is new word that Syria is combining chemicals to make deadly sarin gas. Would its use be enough to push the unraveling Middle East over the edge? For insight, we turn to Brigitte Gabriel, terrorism expert and president of Act for America. Welcome to the show. You know,
thank you, Melissa.
This is certainly frightening news and frightening reports. From what you've seen, do you think this is what Syria is doing?
Syria is moving chemical weapons in a way that they have not done before. They usually move these things around, but the activities in the last 48 hours show that they are up to something. And the concern here is that Bashar Assad said that if he is going to go down, he's going to take the whole Middle East down with him. And I believe that his last resort will be using chemical weapons if, in fact, he is losing. Now, the rebel in the last 48 hours have gained really good grounds against the Assad regime. And there were reports that came out of Syria yesterday, two different reports that said, some said that he died and another one said that he fled the country.
Right.
Neither report has been confirmed, but if this is a fact that he is losing, he will not hesitate in using chemical weapons against his own people.
Wow, on the way out. What would the impact
Yes.
of that be in the region? I mean, what would be the impact on the country, both physical and then, you know, what do you think, what are the dominoes that fall after that?
It's going to be devastating to his people. It's going to be devastating to the basically the Muslim Brotherhood that is rising in Syria to topple the regime. But then again, let's remember, it's going to be an Islamic regime rising, just like what we saw in Egypt, because these are the rebels who are fighting against him. If, in fact, he uses chemical weapons against his people, no matter what the United States does, even if we retaliate, it will be irrelevant. Truly, at that point, the damage would have been done. But as a result, we will have a new Islamic regime in Syria rising that will take over like what happens in Egypt, and we will see Egypt coming to work with the Syrians and trying to help set up a new government.
That does not sound good for you know, Western interests in the Middle East. It seems like these countries are falling like dominoes, turning away from democracy and turning away from the West. This would be just another instance. I mean, how devastating is this to us? And is there any way to stop it?
It is very bad. The Arab Spring translates into America and the West's winter, and we are already seeing the results. We have been warning about this, terrorism analysts, for the last 2 years, and now we are seeing everything we warned about coming to fruition. The reason why it is very bad in Syria is because we're not going to have another more moderate movement replacing the Assad regime. We're going to have a more radical movement replacing the Assad regime, which is creating an Islamic radical bloc that believes in Sharia law, oppressing women, oppressing human rights, rising, and who believe that it is their right and duty to fight Israel and eliminate the state of Israel. So Israel is going to have enemies on the Syrian border, the Lebanese border, Gaza in the south, Egypt and the Sinai already fighting Israel and shelling Israel. Very bad for Israel, and if we come to Israel's aid, it's very bad to America and Israel at the same time.
You know, a lot of people said when the Arab Spring was coming to fruition that this was, you know, a wonderful day and a new day for democracy in the Middle East. There were a few voices at that time that said, hang on, you know, the guys that are coming in to replace them are even more radical than what we saw, and this is actually moving in the opposite direction of what you think. It seems like that's How did that happen? Why did that happen? Because it's continuing.
Because America and President Obama's administration ignored the warning signs in what the Muslim Brotherhood and what the radicals were all about. When President Obama first became president and he went to Egypt and he gave his first address, his first speech in Cairo, in Egypt, he made it a point to invite the Muslim Brotherhood, to the chagrin of the Mubarak regime. He actually insisted that the Muslim Brotherhood will be sitting in the two front seats attending his address. He gave them prominence that they lacked. That created a domino effect where the Muslim Brotherhood felt empowered in gaining the respect of America and the support of America. America miscalculated as to who they were supporting in the Middle East, and they continue this miscalculation right now. And unless we wake up and really make a drastic change in our foreign policy, America is going to pay a heavy price down the road.
Yeah, dramatic conclusion. All right, Brigitte, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you'll come back.
Thank you. Have a great day.